Post Jazz, thank you so much for tuning in. Josh, Paul, and Isaac, of course, we're in the building. Josh, I'm getting feedback. I don't know whether you guys are getting it.
No.
Yeah, no.
No?
Yeah. I am.
Okay, then that's good. You're getting the feedback too.
Yeah, but Paul
I'm
is not.
actually I'm actually not getting the feedback.
Well, I don't understand why. But anyhow, please do subscribe, turn on the notifications. So happy to be here, guys. I know it's been a while, but we've been trying to make ends meet. Again, I have Paul, myself, Isaac, and Josh. We are in the building. And of course, Man United transfer news. It's blowing up. Things are going crazy. Matheus Cunha is already a Red Devil. We have Patrick Mbuemo soon to come, and it's been nothing but amazing. It's been really, really nice, and I'm hoping we close this. But Josh, also, it looks like Jadon Sancho is coming back. Of course, not to
Oh, my boy.
else is not taking back the what? The 5M as a fine just because they are not taking him. So it's a bit crazy. It's a bit crazy. Once again, guys, please do subscribe, turn on the notifications. I don't know where we should start from. Bruno Fernandez has decided to ignore 700 something, or rather 700,000 per week just to start Man United, a club that finished 16th, 17th, did very, very poorly. So I don't know where should we start from, Josh. Jadon Sancho?
Well,
Jo-
I think it's a
yeah?
power of United, but for me, I think the biggest news that we do have today is Brian Mbeumo. The rest of them is just part of the pedophilia, but
Paul.
Brian
Paul.
Mbeumo's interest
Yeah,
in Manchester
mm.
United is the real
Josh, your
deal.
volume is low, Josh. I can't hear you.
Brian
Paul.
Mbeumo's acquisition
Yeah.
or the interest of Brian Mbeumo in him playing for Manchester United is bigger than any other news tonight. I know that Bruno Fernandes chose to stay at Manchester United despite Al Hilal being rumored to throw this very big contract around. I don't think that Bruno Fernandes was ever going to leave Manchester United. But Paul, real quick, we have Magala Brian. He says hi, and he's wondering if you're an Arsenal fan.
No, I'm a Barcelona fan. So, in retrospect, I'm a football fan. The closest thing to football in the Premier League is either Leeds United, which I support, Manchester City, or Arsenal. The element as to why I'm wearing this Arsenal jersey is at the back. If I would show you the back, it's more of a political statement than a jersey for Arsenal. So that is why I'm rocking the jersey.
Okay, cool. But back to the topic. Man United, these news that has come in. Man United is Brian Mbeumo chose to play for Manchester United despite interest from elsewhere like Tottenham Hotspurs, Arsenal, and Newcastle, all that were offering Champions League football. But he seems to have chosen to play for Manchester United this time around, even if we did finish the season in the circumstances we did. He has chosen to play for Manchester United. What's your take?
Personally, I do believe for his career, I really wish he had opted for Spurs. Though he would not start. No, seriously, he would not have started ahead of Dejan. But at United, he's not a United player. United is playing that thing where they are fixing positions with players that have played in England because they have tried to buy players from outside England and it has not really worked. So they are trying to put people that have played in the Premier League. But Bueno is good. He's really good, but he's not top four good. He's Spurs good. He's Aston Villa good. He's Newcastle good. He's not Man United, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, or Chelsea good. So I do believe for his career, I wish he had opted for Spurs. He will not really achieve what he has to, what his career is supposed to achieve at United. We have seen players joining United. We have seen Anthony. Anthony has had a very good second half of the season with Rio Betis. Why? He's not a United caliber player. He's a very good player, not a United caliber player. Sancho. Sancho played well at Chelsea. When you look at his player efficiency stats, he was at 7.1, 6.9, give or take, depending on the games he played. When you look at his goal and assist ratio and impact on the game, he was good at Chelsea. He was never good at United. What United needs right now is not Ambueno. United needs a player that is exciting, a player that is naturally talented. It doesn't need a player that is going to be coached to play into a system because United does not have the system right now. So, and United will not give you 2 seasons, the first season to be bad, then you're playing the next season. No, Mbueno has to be impactful in the first season. Let us say it in this way. Ahmad plays the same position as Mbueno. Ahmad has proven himself this season. Ahmad will play next season. Ahmad was one of United's best players this season.
Polo,
So,
Polo.
yes,
Maybe from where you stand as a neutral, you don't really take perspective of what is happening at Manchester United. But for me to just give you an insight of what is happening, maybe you will appreciate the things that are happening at Manchester United and
please
the
give me the
the
insight.
the signing of the impending
Mbueno.
signing of Brian Mbeumo.
Yes.
Coming off the back season, coming off the back of the season we have had, it was almost impossible to imagine that by the second day of the transfer window, a player Ruben Amorim identified as a solution to his right-sided inside number 10 would be choosing to join Manchester United on top of the already acquired Matthias Cunha, clearly showing his intentions early on. Ineos has continued to demonstrate the willingness to walk the talk and do things in the transfer window differently. You can tell that there is a real intent and a deliberate effort for all involved to work together and really get signings in early. Last summer, we fought off Real Madrid to get in Lenny Euro, an 18-year-old gem, very early on in the window by convincing him of the project at the club. And it looks like we got ourselves great negotiators as the phenomenon has continued this summer too with the acquisition of Matthias Cunha and the interest in Brian Mbeumo. Somehow we've managed for this player to choose Manchester United, even if there's still work to be done with Brentford in negotiations. You see, this interest in Brian Mbeumo, along with the signing of Matthias Cunha, is a breath of fresh air, as the manager seems to have gotten the exact profiles of players he required for those positions. You should understand that Ruben Amorim, having come early at Manchester United, even if he didn't come under the circumstances that he wanted to come, he used this period as a head start. At least he looked at the squad, and you would tell in his pressers that there were qualities that he needed in the team, but he couldn't find them in anywhere in the squad that he had. So at least that was a takeaway, that he kept talking about things like we lack the physicality. We play better in Europe because it's not the same physicality. I remember he talked about Anthony once, and he said, "Yeah, he's playing really well, and I'm impressed and stuff like that." But you can also tell that it is about the physicality in the league, and he was spot on. For me, I would like to think that Matthias Cunha and Brian Mbeumo are both level raisers with Premier League experience and a very good trajectory in their careers. If you look at Mbeumo has progressed for all the 3 years he has been at Brentford. He has not had a stagnant season, or he has not dipped in form overall by the end of the season. Matthias Cunha, the same thing. He has just been on this trajectory. And when you look at a player who scored 20 goals last season, it is very difficult for you to underrate him by saying he's not a Manchester United player, because Manchester United could barely get goals into their team. They couldn't find any goals anywhere. Now you have a player who scored 20 goals. So between Matthias Cunha and Brani Mbeumo, those are about 35 goals
Josh,
minus the
Josh,
assist. And these are two
Josh,
inside tens.
Josh. let me first correct you a bit. One, I do believe Matthias Cunha is a very good kid. I do believe it was special to get Matthias Cunha. I do believe Ineos is doing a very good job. One thing I would say about Mbueno, for a very long time, a United manager is getting the player he exactly said I want. So I would give them kudos for that. Okay. And of course, if Manchester United, me and you have watched football for very many years. If Manchester United wants Mbueno, it doesn't matter what Manchester United wants him. Mbueno is going to join. Mbueno is a Cameroonian. Okay, he's going to join Manchester United. My point is, Manchester United is competing for the top four. Okay, not top five, not top six, not top four.
Actually,
The
by
top
our
four,
standards, we are looking at top six because the
no,
hierarchy.
no, that's the
Yeah, the
thing,
hierarchy. The
right? No,
hierarchy.
as we
The
speak, see, as
hierarchy
we
of
speak now, hmm,
the hierarchy at the club is looking at top six because they clearly
okay.
think
If
that you know,
see
if you
top
bounce
six,
from
that is
15th
what I've told you.
to top
For
six, then that's
Mbueno's
good enough.
career, you mark my words, Mbueno's career will not benefit from the move of joining Manchester United. My reasons are Manchester United gives you one season. It is a very big club. Okay, they'll give you one season to make it. They will not have the patience for you to get. You see, right
But
now,
Mbemo is not a player
as
looking for
see,
patience. Mbemo
no,
is not a player who
he will.
needs time.
If you've told me his progression for the past 3 years, Mbueno
Yes,
is playing in a system that works for him. Okay, do you realize the? I do not have the stats with me as of now,
but he's
but
a glove
in
fit
in
player
no in in
for a
in
Ruben
in
Amorim
Brentford,
system.
yes, in Brentford, Mbueno is one of the players that had the most of the ball in the attacking half. Okay, he's not going to get that at United. We
He will.
factor in.
He
No,
will.
we factor in. Josh, wait.
You don't know. You
Give me a
don't know
second
the
to.
United you're
No, give me
talking
a
about.
second to make. No, give me a second to make my point,
Please.
and I show you why it won't be good for him. We factor in. Sancho is coming back. Okay, he won't get that many games. Okay, but he's coming back, and he has to play.
He's
Marcus
not even
Rashford is
going to.
coming back.
Let me let
Josh,
me
wait,
let me first correct you
wait.
before you
No,
go any
wait.
further.
Sancho,
Sancho is not
I
a
was watching.
United player.
He's a
He's
United player.
no. He's
Bayer
coming.
Leverkusen, Bayer
He's
Leverkusen has tried to buy him.
he's
Huh?
not going to stay
Uh,
at United this season.
his salary wages, the reason as to why his deal failed with Chelsea was
Yeah,
the
but
personal terms.
no, no, no,
Okay?
no, no,
He's
no, no,
getting
no, 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 no,
300K.
no. No, you got that
Yo,
wrong, 100%, bro. He cannot. He's not going to stay at United. He actually, after the Europa League game, when he was interviewed, he clearly told the journalist that he's not coming back to Manchester United. It's just been thrown in his face that Chelsea has refused to comply and give him 250,000 pounds a week for doing nothing. So he has to look for another club. By the time a club like West Ham United in a swap deal with Kudus is willing to do a deal, but because it is you, they eventually don't do the deal, then it is very difficult. It is very difficult for them to go on like that. So I don't think that can work. So for you to talk about Sancho, no, Sancho is not a United player right now. So we that one, just forget it. Magala, is any player coached on a professional level or it's talent? Because I think any professional player has to do anything to prove that he's worth, but not to judge on bench level. Well, I don't know what Paul was going on about because Dre, he lost you. Huh? This man is Arsenal biased. I know. And it doesn't. He's not even an Arsenal fan, but I can smell the bias. Mbemo and Cunha have proved where they were. Let them professionalize their talent anywhere. I believe you. I think that the level of Cunha and Brani Mbemo at this point the trajectory in their careers is so positive that they're only getting to the best of their abilities. And if if they've been identified by Ruben Amorim and accepted to come to Man United for the project that it is, they've not actually chosen to play for Man United because there's Champions League. They're giving them this amount of money. I don't know yet. I don't know yet what is happening with the situation of Brani Mbuemo, but I hope that Brani Mbuemo did not choose to come to United because of wages. Because I don't think we pay good wages anymore. We are in a bad place. Yeah, so on that, I do think that Mbuemo and Cunha are just the right players for Manchester United to have. Yeah, I could see the rival tears too. What up, Jason? What up, Jason? Yeah, remember to subscribe, like, and hit that notifications button. Yeah, Paul is back. Paul is back.
See, you guys got me. I was reading your comments. As you need to get me right. And mark my words, you will see this by the end of the season. Mbueno is a very good player. Okay, I'm not doubting his tactics. I'll first respond to Brian. Brian, football is played by the players, the talent, the hard work, and the coach, plus the management. Now, the system at Brentford supports Mbueno to be who he is. Okay, I'm not saying he's a bad player. What I'm telling you, United is in the rebuilding phase. The rebuilding phase for United right now does not require a player like Mbueno who is on the rise. They need to rebuild. Mbueno will not have a very fruitful season. Josh, see, you keep cutting me off, and I keep
Ah,
forgetting
no,
what I was going
no,
to
no, no,
say,
no. The
and
floor
that's
is
the
yours. The
problem.
floor is
I was,
yours.
tell, I was
The
telling you
floor is
about
yours.
Rashford. Today I was watching the overlap.
First, no, no, no.
Okay.
First, get to the point before you lose the
Yes,
whole
yes,
everyone
yes, yes.
else with your Rashford.
This is the point. I was watching the overlap, and I was watching Paul Scholes talking about Rasmus Hoyland, and they were asking him whether United should move on from Rasmus Hoyland, and he responded by saying he's a 22-year-old player who has been asked to play up front alone for the past 2 years without the creativity that he needs. Mbueno is coming in a club that doesn't give you a second chance. We have seen players at different
Paul
clubs.
Mbemo is
I'll
not
give you an
22. You see, the thing that you
no. I was
forget,
talking about
but
Rasmus Hoyland before
the way you're
Mbueno.
speaking,
So I'm making
okay,
my point.
just
No,
just a
I'm making
minute.
my point.
Before you the way you're talking about Brani Mbuemo, you're talking about Brani Mbuemo like he's a novice. He's a 22-year-old, he's a 20-year-old, he's a guy who does not fit the shoes at Manchester United. But this is a player who just scored 20 goals in the Premier
Yes,
League. 20
yes,
goals in the Premier League.
yes.
This is a player, while playing at Brentford, has advanced in each of the years that he has been at Brentford. This is a player who has a finishing ability of Thierry Henry, the calmness, the composure he does have. This is a player who has the
Josh, Josh, Josh,
movement.
Josh, 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 Josh.
You listen,
There's an
he is a
English no,
player
there's an
who has
English word
the
called
off.
blasphemy. No, there's an
He,
English word called
he's
blasphemy,
that he's
and
the type of
you throwing
player.
around the finishing tactics of Thierry Henry and Buemo. That is almost sports blasphemy.
Yeah, maybe you just don't know the player. But
I have watched I have watched Brentford.
Dre
I have watched
Mukisa says,
Brentford.
"What's wrong with you?" I mean, please don't confuse us. United created chances, and in the final third, we have been struggling. So we get Cunha, Mbuemo, and one center forward. United will be untouchable again, and I cannot believe him because with those two tens, if we do get a player like Gyökeres in front
Okay.
of them,
No,
I mean,
no. Let me
then
ask
it's
you. Let me
game.
ask you. Let me ask you. Just give me your starting lineup.
What do you mean my starting lineup? I've not bought players yet.
Next season. Next season. Let us assume you're going to buy all the players you want. You have
Yeah,
Mbueno. Eh? You have
I have
Mbuemo.
Mbeumo,
You have
Mbeumo,
Cunha. No, yes, you have
Bryan
Mbuemo.
Mbeumo. Brandon Mbeumo, Cunha,
you have Zaxi,
Gyökeres,
you have Hoyland,
Gyökeres.
you have Yokeres, you
No,
have Fernandez.
those are the ones you're telling me. But you've asked for
No,
my
but
lineup.
you already have. No, I'm giving you the players so
Hoyland
that you
is
can
leaving. I
choose.
know the players. I'm a United fan. Hoyland is leaving. He's not a Manchester United player anymore. Will not be a in my head. I at least believe he will not be a Manchester United player anymore. We must find solutions for a player like Rasmus Hoyland to be moved on. He has had 2 seasons at the club, and I think that is just about enough for whatever he did for us. Yes, we do thank you, but he needs to be sold. If he can't be sold, we find a solution. He goes out on loan, and we find an obligation to buy for him, so he moves on. We need to get the manager has to be very honest with himself and get rid of all the dead wood. You cannot still be doing the same thing. I don't know why the going into the season, I don't believe the manager should go with Andre Onana in goal, because that is the mistake that he will have made. We have to get rid of Andre Onana because he's a liability at the club. You cannot win stuff with a player like
See,
Andre Onana in your goal, so he
everybody,
must
see
leave.
everybody in the comment section is going to say I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'll still give you the same.
Mbeumo is all
No,
right.
no, about
No,
Onana. I'll still give
let
you
me
the
let
same
me.
analysis.
I'm just reading a
Let,
comment from Omusala Emma. Omusala Emma, what up? What up? Mbeumo is all right player for Manu, and Amorim is all right manager. You tell that man is you're lying. And
see,
Dre goes on.
you,
Let me go through them real quick because they're
mm,
piling up.
mm, mm.
Dre Mokisa says, "What is Arsenal man taking in that plastic cup?" Oh my god! Yeah. Roast.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah, yeah.
you
United is
see,
rebuilding right now.
Josh,
And there's a question for
no.
you from
Mm.
Jason Chess. Arsenal buy a striker yet?
I have no idea. Let me make this right. I
And
support
Rasmus has
football
refused
clubs.
to go this season. Josh, same applies to Jadon Sancho. Yeah, they've refused to go, but Marcus Rashford refused to leave. But we found a solution and he left. So we must find a solution. We must find a solution. He can go to Inter Milan on loan. He says he wants to
Juventus wants him
remain.
actually. Juventus
Yeah,
wants
it's,
Jordan
it's
Sancho.
not Jadon Sancho. No one wants Jadon Sancho. They want Rasmus Hoyland.
No, Juventus
You-
today
Inter
about
Milan,
an
Juventus,
hour.
they do
No,
want.
about an hour. No, about an hour ago, I was watching. There's a sports show, some Italian sports show, and Juventus was showing interest in uh, Jordan Sancho because they're
Yeah,
going to lose. They might lose Vlahovic to Arsenal. There's a chance
uh,
they might lose Vlahovic to Arsenal.
Arsenal is still confused about the striker they need. At least
They
United
don't
is not.
really Football
Jason
of
is
this
laughing at
generation
that.
does not really need a striker.
Arsenal Netflix series is coming.
It should. It should.
Arsenal still lighting candles.
This is not about Arsenal. I do not
Inter
know why
wants Rasmus.
everybody.
Yes, Inter wants Rasmus. And if Inter can't come up with the money or the wages of Rasmus Højlund, we can let him go on loan. Because for me, I don't believe that Manchester United should be having Rasmus Højlund. And I was very against the idea of bringing in Liam Delap, a 22-year-old, to play.
At a hundred
Um,
million.
no. 30 it was 30 million. I didn't want to bring a 22-year-old at the club when we have Chido Obi, who is 17 making 18 years or 18 making 19 years old. What is he going to learn from him? He's not really going to learn stuff from him, but he could have better movement. Chido Obi could have better movement. He could have better finishing and stuff like that. But he needs
But
to learn from an
Dilap is
experienced
way
player.
better than Obi.
Maybe you're not
Dilap is
hearing
like
what I'm saying. You're not hearing what
I
I'm
do get
saying.
what you're saying, but
Because
if
If Gyökeres does come in and a 17-year-old, 18-year-old is learning from a guy like Gyökeres who is 27 and he has done it at that stage, then maybe he's going to sharpen his skills. he's going to do things different. But from Liam Delap, however good he is, he's not going to learn much from him.
Of course, of course, of course, because it's almost the same age gap, so he won't really learn a lot from him. But Dilap, if it is United is getting Dilap at 25 or 30 million, you should really go for it because Dilap is one of
No,
the few
he has
strikers
chosen to
left.
go to Chelsea.
No, he's one of the few strikers left in the world, the natural born strikers. You do realize right now the football of this generation does not actually require a striker unless you have a
No,
naturally
that is
gifted
what
striker.
Arsenal has made you believe.
That's what PSG made me believe because
No,
Dembele was playing up front. No,
Arsenal,
Dembele was playing up front, not
yes,
Arsenal. PSG won
because
5-0 against
Arsenal
Inter
has
Milan.
Kai Havertz.
Josh, no, put Arsenal aside. Put Arsenal aside.
Yes,
PSG has won 5-0 in the
the
Champions
Champions
League.
League. Yeah,
Usman Dembele was the top scorer, joint top
yes,
scorer with Mason Greenwood in
yes,
PSG in France. And he's
true,
not a striker. They
true,
inverted his position in the second half of the season after
true.
Christmas. They
Yeah,
inverted his position. Now, we begin breaking it down. Mbappe, his favorite position is coming from the flanks.
yes.
Okay? We break it down further. Apart from Liverpool, has no, their born strikers haven't scored more than 10 goals.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay?
because they're not good
So,
enough.
we break it. Let me list strikers and I list
It's
you
systems.
Hurricane,
It's not
Haaland. No,
strikers.
Josh, wait. We have about what 120 clubs, okay? And I'm in the top leagues in Europe, and I'm going to name you five strikers. After that, give me another natural born striker: Hurricane, Haaland, Dilop, Jokeres, Lewandowski.
Osimhen, Echitike, Jonathan David,
Osimen. Okay, let me add
Polo.
Osimen.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
let Jonathan David, Echitike, the guy at Frankfurt.
Echitike is
There's
not
Sechko.
Echitike
There's
had to leave
Sechko.
PSG because
Listen,
Gongalo Ramos was going to
listen.
play his position.
Yes, but it does
And
not
Gongalo
mean
Ramos has had a very, very bad season that they had to bring Dembele on to fit the system. The system of
Polo.
today's football
Let's
is high pressing football.
let's not deviate. Let's stick to Manchester United. And Jason
Okay.
Chess says he
Okay.
also didn't want Liam Delap. Yeah, I think Dre was laughing to that. I'm not impressed with him. Yeah, neither was I. I think he's speaking to Cunha.
And yeah, Cunha, I have no problem with
Cunha
The Cunha
Nimwemo.
transfer.
The
I have
two
no
have
problem with it.
already adopted the league. They have first each team in the Premier League. That is
Yes, and
true.
they have been successful with the teams they have faced in the Premier League.
Kedali wants Victor Yokeres news. The Victor Yokeres news I can give you is sources still around Ruben Amorim and Victor Yokeres believe that a deal will be struck for Manchester United. It is not anywhere close. It is not in the rumor mill yet, but it is believed that there is a strong feeling a deal will be struck later in the window for Victor Yokeres to join Manchester United, which is a good thing. We thank Arsenal for being our academy and babies. Yeah, they did us a solid, providing Eight in Heaven and the services of
Chido,
Chido
yeah,
Obi.
Obi, yeah. He
T-
scored two goals actually in the previous game, the last game you've just had,
very good
and
goal.
he had a very good showing in that game. He came on in the second half, I think.
Yeah.
I watched the game and he was really impressive.
Yeah. He's a good striker. He has the movements. He smells blood. He smells a goal. Rasmus Hoyland can never smell a goal. He can never make the right runs. He can never.
Rasmus Hoyland
All
had a
this
very, very
rubbish.
good
All
showing at
this. All
Atalanta.
this rubbish. All
Before you
this
both
rubbish.
see, as an Atalanta fan, what you're
He
saying
scored
is very
11
offensive.
goals. He scored 11 goals. At United in the
At
first season
Atalanta,
under Eric Ten Hag, he scored 17 goals. 5 in the Champions League. You see, but what I'm trying to tell you, there's the movement of a player who is hungry to score, who wants to get on the score sheet. Chido Obi believes that I must score in every game that I play. He breathes. You have to have that hunger as a striker. If you don't have that hunger as a striker, it's going to be very difficult for you to succeed.
I do
Yeah, I
get that,
think Kadali
but
was
then
talking about PSG and Man City not having strikers. Then
no,
Cunha
Man
Mbemo,
City has always
Rafael
had.
Leao. I wouldn't want Rafael Leao because he doesn't fit the system. Give him 3 minutes to submit his point.
Exactly.
Please, please. Your
No,
3 minutes are there. Take it away.
right now we should. I wanted to speak about the Fernandez deal. There's no way Fernandez, at the prime of his career, in one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest club in the world, would choose to go to Saudi Arabia for money, which he can do in the late stages of his career. At 34, he can still go to Saudi Arabia and still get the money. It won't be as much, but he can still get the money that they would give him. Right now, Bruno Fernandes, he's building a legacy with United because United is a legacy club. If United can win something next season, it will be because of Bruno Fernandes because he'll be the captain. Josh, to use my 3 minutes, I want to talk about the United backline.
Yeah, please.
United is one of those teams this season that has not had the same players in the backline for 4 games consecutively. I can go through the lineups and show you because I went through it 3 days ago, 4 days ago. I was arguing with a friend of mine, so went through them. United has not had the same backline for 4 games.
Okay.
This goes in the defense for Onana that I wanted to tell you. Before we go out to blame Onana, Onana is one of the fewest goalkeepers in the Premier League or in Europe that has not had the same backline. Granted, he makes some uh, some mistakes that you cannot defend. Okay, he really. Sometimes you'll watch Onana and be like, "Oh my God, you're making me have to defend you." So I get the part, but then this is a goalkeeper that hasn't had a backline that is solid for a couple of games. Every game, it's either Euro, Maguire, Euro, Lindelof, Lindelof, Maguire, delete, Euro, delete, Maguire, Mazarawi, Euro, Mazarawi, Maguire, Mazarawi, delete. You understand? So the partnership is very, very important for a goalkeeper to consolidate himself and have the confidence in the people in front of him to be as good as he has to be. But I won't take away from the fact that he really, really, really makes it hard to defend him. You have to go back to his Inter Milan days and say, see, he was really good at Inter Milan because this was done. Because Onana, he never makes the right pass. You keep waiting for him to make that pass that will cut through the midfield and get to it. And ah, but as far as saying you don't need
Onana
Onana,
is shit.
huh?
He needs to go. He's shit.
You just blew away about 55 seconds of me submitting on the backline of Manchester United.
No, no,
He
let's go.
really isn't. Before United bought Onana, he was the
You
best
actually
goalkeeper
just
in
said
Europe.
he does
No,
things
he
that
makes it hard. He makes it hard to defend him.
Polo.
Okay?
There are howlers that Onana does make that are unbelievable. You see the game that
Exactly.
we lost against you, Spurs.
Yeah.
That was not a change of backline that caused him to do whatever he did.
Even Brentford itself.
The howler
If even
in
Brighton.
that game. Now, you cannot win things when you have a guy like that. A keeper is allowed a mistake in him, okay? Even
Mm,
Donnarumma, even if he's highly rated, there was a period that he was doing things that you questioned his quality because this kid has been over a high ceiling since he was 18 years old. But then he started
mm,
to do certain things that made you doubt his ability. But that is an occasional mistake in him. Thibaut Courtois had a howler once upon a time in the Champions League. David De Gea, once or twice, one of those things. but you can't have a player do this every other day. Every other day, that is impossible to achieve. You cannot stay
Mm,
with such a player for long.
mm. See, my point being that we have seen
First,
right now. See,
dresses Arsenal diehard. I see it's written all over his face. Kachere just. Victor Yokeres, I need in Man United. And Kedali says Arsenal, sure, Onana, Sancho, Anthony will be good. Maybe they'll be good if they went to Arsenal.
to do what and play where?
Yeah, yeah. Arsenal
That's the question
has
you have to ask.
Arsenal has arguably the best. It arguably
Goalkeeper in the
has
league.
no the best back line. So Luke Shaw
Josh,
wouldn't be
if
doing
no, if
shit there.
no, Luke Shaw is
Onana
not a
wouldn't be
player.
doing shit there.
Luke Shaw isn't a player. Luke Shaw is one of the medical staff at Man United. So he's any player that can't give you more than 4 or 5 games is not really a player. But my opinion is, um, what happened? What became of Malasia, by the way? Because me, I would think
Malasia
United should
is
keep
out on
Malasia.
loan. He did get
Yeah, I think
injured, and
United.
United messed him up.
I do believe United needs to bring back Malasia and
He did get an
what's that?
injury. It was mismanaged, and no, Malasia is leaving. We have a lot of players in. We have a lot of players at left back.
Left back,
So
like
yeah,
who? Like
we have
who?
a player. We have a player coming in called Diego Leon. We signed a player in
Hmm.
January called Patrick Dogu, and then we
Dogo is
have
good.
a player. We have a player coming through the ranks from the academy called Harry Yamas. So it becomes difficult for United to add any player in that
Mm.
position of left wing back. So I don't think we shall be doing any business for a left wing back. So Malasia, I hope that we do get about 15 million from him or 12 million for him, and he's moved on. I didn't
I
like whatever happened to him. He looked like he would eventually have been a good player, but the things that happened to
mismanaged
him,
this injury.
I think his injury was mismanaged because I think he had three surgeries before. He had two surgeries before he left for Netherlands to have a third one. So it was really difficult.
It was grossly mismanaged. Um, I'm not
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not too
yeah. I
sure.
hope they do get Sechko, because if they do get Sechko, then we shall do what? We shall remain in pole position to get Gyökeres, because Osimhen
Josh,
likes
but
a bit
yo,
of some money, and Osimhen is going to. He might go to Saudi Arabia because they're the ones who will be able to pay him the monies that he wants to be paid. United is no longer in a position to pay that kind of wages. So yeah, I think it will be a bit difficult.
Josh, Sesko is really good.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah, yeah.
Arsenal if
Arteta
Arsenal were to get
insisted,
Sesko,
no, let them get
it will really
Sesko.
be a good buy.
Yeah, but he's not bigger than Gyökeres. So for
Uh,
me, I let them get Sesko.
have you seen?
Yeah, let them get Sechko. I remember Arteta.
Yes.
Arteta argued with his. It is rumored that Arteta argued with the new sporting director on the type of striker that he wanted. I think he
Mm-hmm.
wanted Sechko, and the sporting director wanted him to get Gyökeres.
Jokeris is 27.
Yeah, he's 26, making 27.
Sesko is 23. 24,
Yeah,
23.
you don't need a guy to play 10 years at your club. You need a guy to play 2 seasons and he wins you stuff. And he leaves, another guy comes in. Bro, you need to win stuff, man. This is not you're building 6 years, building, bro. What's
Yeah,
that
but
shit?
what Arsenal
No.
what Arsenal needed to build
6 years, nothing,
that
no
everybody
trophy, no
know what
nothing.
Arsenal needed to build. Yes, they needed to build the fact that they can get back to the Champions League every single season. Have you seen the dividends ratio for Arsenal this season? Because Arsenal had spent years without making it to the Champions League. See, it can be taken for
No.
granted that it had spent years, bro. It really has.
Yeah, but bro, I mean,
That's one. No, that's one of
you
the
can
thing. And the other thing is,
you can
no, the other
you
thing
cannot
is,
credit you
Chelsea.
cannot
No,
credit having gone.
Josh. Pardon me a bit. PSG invested almost 4 billion before winning the Champions League. Manchester City invested at almost 1.7 billion. Chelsea invested almost 2 billion before the first Champions League they took. Okay, Arsenal hasn't invested half that.
Bro, what do you mean hasn't invested half that? Arsenal has invested more since its
No,
inception. It has been
no, not
investing.
the no, not the
So it was
inception.
not playing to win the
We are
Champions
talking
League
about no,
before.
we are talking about Ateta. Okay,
Yeah,
we don't
but
want to
you're saying
bring
Arsenal,
what happened. No,
Arsenal
we
the
don't.
football
eh,
club,
and
because you
and
see
everything. No,
even
I've told you
PSG
Chelsea. No, PSG. Since the new
it's
owner
the
came up,
club.
the
eh,
Arab. No, the Arab. I've
Khalifa.
forgotten his name. The president
Mm.
Khalifa. Since Khalifa came, he has invested almost 4 billion. Okay, since Man City was taken over, they have invested almost 2 or 3 billion. Okay, when Abramovich took over Chelsea, he invested almost 2.5 billion before the first
No,
Champions
no,
League.
that's not true. As in at the time,
Do you
he
remember?
invested
No,
a
do you
lot
remember?
of money. Yes.
Do you remember? Yes, that let me. They played 3 seasons before
Yeah.
getting the Champions League. Okay,
Oh,
do you remember
even
the
more.
money?
Even more.
Do you, the
Not three
players he
seasons,
brought
even
on?
more.
No,
Yeah.
there were three because he brought on Mourinho.
He came in
Mourinho did three
2003.
seasons.
Mourinho played 3 seasons.
Ah, yeah, it's more
And they
than
had
three
a
seasons.
couple of very
It
many other
it's more.
managers before they won it.
It's even more than 2.5
They won,
billion.
I think, in 2012.
So
Mourinho came in
Arsenal,
2003.
The Arteta era hasn't
Yeah,
even
they've
invested
spent
a
over
billion.
750
Yeah, they
million,
haven't even invested a billion.
close to a billion.
Yeah, no, 750.
Yeah, over
So
750 million.
yeah, they still have time to achieve what they're going to
Yeah, but
achieve, and they
they
have
don't look
come
like
knocking.
they don't look like
Of
it's
course they
coming
do.
soon anyway.
Of course they do. They have finished second 3 times.
Yeah, and too bad it doesn't get them
Yeah,
anywhere.
United fans, Premier
There's a
League fans
question here.
they never cease to fascinate me.
There's a
Yes.
question here from Jericio. Hey guys, one question. If next season, no trophy, no top four, will you guys still support Amorim to be your manager?
Yeah, I would, because United needs an overhaul to be in the top four or
For
win
me,
a Premier League trophy.
for me to
A
answer,
trophy in oh,
for me to answer the question, I think I would say that it would depend on his showing. That the progress of his ideas throughout the team, the things that can be done in the team, and how he operates in the transfer window, that actually give you a good feeling about the manager in 2 years to come. Remember, he's a manager who came in and got only 2.5 years on his contract, so he must actually do enough to be given a renewal of that contract. And I think that he will. I wish that he does well, so he's given a renewal of that contract, so we can have some continuity in the things that we are doing in the phase of rebuilding. You can see a lot of fans did not like the players. They were quick to talk about the players that were bought by Eric Ten Hag last summer. Hey, this player. But when you look at it, those are players that were bought for Manchester United, because all the players, the 5 players that were bought for Manchester United, they all fit in this manager's system. Joshua Zagzi, Lenny Yoro, Matthias Delict,
delete.
Mazraoui, and
Mm,
who is the fifth player?
Patrick,
Manuel Ugarte. They're all
Ugarte,
players
and
that
then
seem to
yeah,
fit. Yeah, that seem to fit for the manager. So there's continuity there. In everything that we do, we must at least have some continuity for us to have some semblance of progress. So, Jericio, for me to answer you, I think it would depend on how well that he does in the league. PSG cut a 2
um,
billion only is Canal Plus. Sweden has the deadliest center forwards in Europe right now, and Arsenal and other United haters should watch out. Sweden is producing young, talented center forwards. 113 years star in the making. Jahim Mukisa. Yo, coming through, coming through. Man City spent about 1.5 billion before they won a Champions League. Um, Magala says even Chelsea lost top 11 players. No matter what, if next season we don't get to top four, I know progress is on the way. I agree with that. I agree with that. When Dress says, when did Arsenal be in any final? Be it a good dress. No,
you,
Arsenal
you,
doesn't do
you,
finals. They're allergic.
you've all turned this into an Arsenal thing. And me, I'm trying to tell you, next season, even if Almorin doesn't win a trophy, even if he doesn't show the trajectory that you're all waiting for him to show, I would not fire him because United doesn't fit in the top six. Even
Yeah,
next
yeah, yeah.
season, United doesn't
As
fit
at the
in the top
moment,
six.
mm,
Yes, even if you're to add the players you've bought, that you have
he
Cunha
could
and
do some
you
good
have,
business in the window that
it will still
can
not
give
put you in
him
the top
a
six.
jump.
It will still not put you in the top six because we all know the
Paulo,
top four is set.
when you do have the two inside tens in Cunha and Mbuemo, then you do have a striker of the quality of Gyökeres. Then you do have Amad Diallo playing as your right wing back, and you do have Diego Leon, the beast, the 18-year-old beast from Paraguay, who is coming and is playing as your left wing back. And Licha, Lisandro Martinez is fit enough, playing with Lenny
Yeah,
Yoro in between
we
Matthias
all know
Delict.
Martinez won't
Uh,
give you more than 15 games.
and guess what? You have Aiden Heaven. You have
See,
Aiden
that's the thing
Heaven,
I'm
who
trying to
is
tell you. We
a
have talked
very good
about
player.
United's front part, and we
Then
haven't talked about United's
I think you
back
can
part
have
because the
I
back
think you
line
can have
is not fit enough to play the number of games they have to play to make a solid partnership. Over the past 3 seasons, we have seen this. Ten Hag almost had he had the
no,
most
but
number of changes
last
in the
season,
back line.
no, last season that was Ten Hag's the other season, not even this one. But
Even last season, the
this season
partnerships
we've had
kept
some
changing.
continuity. No, we've had
With
some
who?
continuity.
Josh, give me 10 games where you had the same back line.
No, 10 games is a lot, but we've had some continuity.
Then that's not really continuity because you're going to go on blaming the goalkeeper for not being adequate enough, and you haven't
No,
even
that
given
no.
him a lot.
By the way, on that one, don't even get me started. Onana is shit. We bought a guy because he plays out from the back. The guy is the worst distributor of the
I
ball.
know. I've not seen him distribute a single ball. That's
Jordan Pickford is better than
no
him
no 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 no
at
no 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 no
kicking the
no no
ball.
no
I'm telling you,
no.
Jordan
Pickford
Pickford can kick the ball up there, and it meets Beto. You understand?
because of the
This
system. You're
no
overlooking the
no.
system.
How many systems has he played? 3 systems. He can't pass the ball to someone. Apart from dilly
Because
dallying and passing the ball to whoever is closest to him, okay,
let us agree. Let
he
us
can
agree.
never make a 30-yard pass, actually even 20 pass, and it finds a player.
For the past
That
couple
guy
of
is
seasons,
shit.
United is shit. So you
Man
really can't
United
blame
have
any player.
played 5 final. Arsenal no, that's Kedali. Address says signing Premier League proven players is a smart decision from Manchester United and Ruben
It
Amorim.
really is. It really
Yeah.
is. And you guys didn't get what I was saying. I was telling you, yeah, for Mbueno's career, not for Man United, for Mbueno's career, signing with United was a bad deal.
How you failed to show it?
He's not going to make. I can't show it to you guys because you need to watch it through the season.
You'll
United
be.
is
We shall be here.
no,
We
United
shall-
is such
you-
a big club. No, let me put it this way: it is such a big club, on legacy and history that it is not forgiving. Okay,
yeah, 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 yeah.
Mbueno has one season to prove himself. Okay,
But
so you're bringing Josh. Wait.
mm,
You're bringing Mbueno, who has scored 20 goals at Brentford, who are chasing nothing. They were not fighting relegation. They were not fighting European football. They were just playing for entertainment. You've brought him in United. Okay, the added pressure of the fans and the expectation that is supposed to put the club to another level is going to be something that is going to hit him. The mere fact that an African is playing for Manchester United is going to hit him. So if
Follow.
Mbeno scored, Josh, if Mbeno scored 17 goals at United next season, it will be considered a failure.
No, no, it won't. Double digits is even
Mark,
good enough.
mark my
15.
words. We shall be here to talk about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That one I
We
don't
shall be
believe
here to
you
talk
at all.
about it because
But
I'm
here
going
is
to
a
tell you. I've
question for
seen.
you.
Uh,
Paul, do teams like Manchester United need to go through what is going on at Old Trafford, or
they really don't, because Manchester United is a legacy club. Manchester United is one of the biggest businesses in England, in European football. So they don't have to go through everything they are going through right now, because we need Manchester United as Champions League fans. We need Manchester United in the Champions League.
yeah? So it hit rock bottom, so it has to go through
It
whatever
hasn't
it
hit rock
is going
bottom.
through.
Rock bottom is still coming.
No, no, that's
Rock bottom is still coming.
that's
United
bullshit.
has spent about
Impossible,
five seasons without
impossible.
uh, a
Without
plus
what?
side on their
Without
goals.
without.
Goals conceded, goals conceded,
Yeah,
and
but
goals
you're talking
scored.
about goals
They,
conceded. But in these five seasons you speak of, United has played in a final. United has won
yeah, and they
cups.
didn't win. Which
No,
cup?
they've won cups. They've won the FA Cup. They've won the Carabao Cup. They've won. Yes, they have.
Anyway, as a Baka fan, I don't relate, so
Yeah,
I don't
but
know what you're
you
talking
don't relate.
about.
But you've just forgotten because Barcelona itself had to go through what is United is going through itself.
Yeah,
Just
one season we did for one
no,
season.
no, 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 no,
We
no,
did
no.
for one season. Then we brought on
Yeah,
Xavi, and
but you
Xavi
must
won the league.
understand. You must understand that La Liga is different to the Premier League. La Liga is much weaker, and it's a league of two teams, and predominantly two teams: Barcelona and Real Madrid, and the flower girl
Yes, La,
who
La,
is
La, La
Atletico
Liga,
Madrid.
La Liga has more Champions League trophies than
You,
England teams.
yeah, but when you go with that analogy to understand the strength of the league, then you lose
Yeah.
the whole point because
No, as in,
because that
that's the
analogy
analogy
does
because
not help
the
you. You see Bayern
engraved.
Munich, the strength of
Uh-huh.
Bayern Munich in Germany, okay,
Mm-hmm.
does not make the league stronger because German
It does.
because no, Bayern Munich.
Dortmund has a Josh.
I'm talking
Dortmund has
about
a
Bayern
Champions League.
Munich. I'm
Yes,
talking
I'm
about
telling you, and,
Bayern
and I'm
Munich.
talking about the league. I'm trying to show you. Valencia has a Champions League. Yesterday, I was going through a recap of the what is it called? You Super Cup. Is it the Super Cup where the final the winner of the Champions League and the winner of the UEFA Cup they get to play? It's the Super Cup, right? I was
Yeah,
going through it from 1990 to date. Do you know how many Spanish teams have won that cup?
yeah, 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 yeah,
I was
yeah.
going through the Champions League.
Yeah, because
Sevilla,
Sevilla played
yo,
four in a row
Sevilla,
or five in a row.
Valencia, Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico. Okay, they've
Yeah,
all
but
won it.
you
Okay,
know that
now we'll
that
go
is
to
that
no,
is
we'll
a
go to the
debate.
Champions League.
That is a debate you will always lose because the La Liga is weaker than the Premier League. That is
Yeah,
granted.
but when the Liga
It is exciting and
get
what,
to
but
meet,
it is weaker.
no, when they get to meet English teams,
Yes.
they beat them to death.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But you
So
can
how
say
does
that
that make them weaker? Because if
because
I'm
the
telling you,
quality, no, the quality of players in the La Liga, often the La Liga, Madrid and Barcelona, the powerhouse clubs that they are, always attracted the best quality of players in for those two
no,
teams.
let
Okay,
us break it down
but
this way.
but let me wait.
Premier League,
Just give
okay,
me a
okay.
second. They
Mhm.
attracted those type of players. The Brazilians, the Argentines, everyone wanted to be playing for either Real Madrid
Mm,
or
they still
Barcelona,
do.
which is a phenomenon that continues to dead. But when you
Mm.
look at the rest of the league, it is littered with academy rejects of Barcelona and Real Madrid throughout. You
I
get?
would say the same for the Premier League.
Not really. Not really. Not
So
really.
let me break, no let me break it down for you this way. The Premier League is a more physically demanding league, and La Liga
Yeah.
is a more talent demanding league. Okay, if you have talent, you might fail in the Premier League because it is physically demanding. You have to run up and down. You have to push people. You have to tackle people hard. And La Liga, it's more of talent. It is more of tactics. The Premier League is more of blackboard football. Okay, where you're going to play Brentford and next week you're playing Newcastle, and it's all physical. You're going to have Jolinton running up and down like he's the best Brazilian, and you're wondering what kind of Brazilian is this? This is
Yeah,
not
but
how
he plays
Brazilians
he
play.
plays he plays for the national team.
No, he does not. He's
He
called for the
does.
national team. He does.
Now
When was the
he's
last time you saw Jolinton being put in the first 11
I
of
don't know if he's
the
actually
Brazilian
been
national team?
called this time.
Exactly.
But
He's not. He's not even called.
Magala says, Paul and Josh, can you tell me the style of play in Manchester United then and now? Should Manchester United play like Arsenal or Liverpool or Man City? What is that common system? Take it away
I'll let
first.
you take it fast. No, I'll let you take it fast. You're the United fan, so I'll give you
Yeah,
a
okay.
couple of more minutes.
Then I don't think that Magala. I think that football has actually shifted from where we were then. The things that I liked about Man United then were actually the businesses that we used to do. The transfer strategy of Alex Ferguson was so spot on that it actually gave us an upper hand. Even if we were a very solid team and he had assembled very good players, he actually poached the best player in the league or the best player in Europe to be playing for Manchester United. But remember, we did have a very big resource envelope that was bigger than everyone around us. And it has since changed. It is no longer the position, and everyone has almost caught up. And these profitability and sustainability rules and the FIFA financial play rules have all made it a bit difficult for you to go ahead and replenish your squad in a manner that you would like. But talking about the football proper, I don't think the 4-4-2 can work anymore. And we don't necessarily have to play like Arsenal, Liverpool, or Man City, but we can play like Amorim wants us to play. I like the 3-4-3 formation, actually the 3-4-2-1 formation, and I like the fact that he came in early. And even if we did struggle, at least we identified our players to get us he identified profiles of players to put in this system to get us in a better position. In a way you can say that you're playing like Arsenal, like Liverpool, like Man City, because they all play the modern style of football. The systems may not be the same, but the modern style of football is the characteristic of the modern game is actually pressing, applying pressure high up the pitch. And all the teams that you're talking about, they apply pressure high up the pitch. You do all the things that the other team does not want to do, and that's how you beat the team. It only helps with clubs like Man City or PSG when you have the best players on the pitch. I mean, when Arsenal did play PSG, Arsenal almost went toe to toe with PSG, but PSG just had the better players on the pitch. I mean, they did have a very good system to play against PSG. They had one or two things to actually maybe tame PSG, but the better players were on the other side. There's no way Vitinha and Ruben and Neves were going to. It's not called Ruben Neves. Jao Neves and Vitinha, they were always going to have a field day in that midfield of Declan Rice. And the players like Usman Dembele, Desire Doe, Bakola, and Kvaratskhelia. These are players who are always on top, better than the players that you did have. They would beat Saliba, Lewis Kelly, and Kivio any day, every day. So what the teams like Arsenal do when they lack the quality of players like that, they get players like Declan Rice who is not gifted technically, but he has the lungs, the legs, and he can do a lot of the things that other players cannot do to actually win football games.
So me, I will differ from you. If I'm
Yeah,
going to ask, if I'm going to answer Magala, okay?
yeah,
Um, I do believe if United is to be successful, they have to play the Liverpool type of football. A fast front three that is prolific. Um, you need maybe a goal scorer or a wing player, one of the two, that is prolific at goal. Okay. Then you need a midfield that is settled, that can contain the ball but do not possess the ball. They pass the ball. They do not need the ball in their feet or at their feet. They just have to pass the ball forward. Then you need a consistent back three. The word being a consistent back three and a better goalkeeper than Onana. That is something that can be done way easier than the way Man City plays or Arsenal plays. The Liverpool brand of football is you need about three or four players. Three players that are prolific. One in the back, one in the middle, one up front. That is very, very easy for United to get right now as a rebuilding phase. Consistent football that requires them to do the ball for longer minutes of the game. Because United, for as long as I've watched United, they have never been the team that possesses the ball for very long hours of the game. That will be my take. That will be my opinion of how United
okay.
should play in accordance
Jacob,
to what Magala has asked. Yes.
United, you'd realize the guy was so good with the ball that opponents didn't bother pressing. I actually agree with that 100%. And that is why I was overjoyed that Onana was coming to Manchester United. He's going to be playing under Eric Ten Hag. He's a boy who has played at Ajax, and he's familiar with the things that they do. And maybe he's going to help him to play football. It was unfortunate that he couldn't do that at the time because the whole the back four that he had could not they did not want to play the ball. Apart from Licha, Harry Maguire and Lindelof were not comfortable playing the ball from out the back, so it was always going to be difficult for them. And I just never understood that part in the first phase. However, he goes forward, and I actually always knew he is very good at Onana is not a guy who is going to actually get hold of the ball in one go. He's always going to parry the ball away and things like that. But he's actually good at reading. He was good at reading the game, even if he had butter fingers. But since he has been at United, he has been very awful. He has been very awful. The mistakes in him make it very difficult for you to actually wait for him to pass the ball. He has not been any good at passing the ball. Okay, let's say that he has failed to play with the back four. Even when Onana is playing the ball up the he's playing up the pitch, the ball never gets to its target. Never gets to its target. If he's passing the ball to Dallo or Ganacho, that ball is going outside. 100% it's going outside. So for me, that is the problem that I do have with him. What will United win this season? Mosa. No, 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 no. Ah, Pavis Estupinan. I don't believe that. Why would we be in talks to sign Estupinan when we've just signed two players at left wing back? though Estupinan, before he did start to have injuries, he was a very good player, and maybe he can manage this system very well. He's physical, he's aggressive, he has experience and stuff like that. But I don't think that United will be signing another left back. The priority, I don't think that is a priority. The guy was playing like the back, central center back. You can't tell me he's totally forgotten how to play. It looks like that at Manchester United. He doesn't remember how to play. Paul has run out. I think he has gone to remove that Arsenal jersey. Yo, Sinan, what up, Sinan? Long time, bro. Yeah, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah. So, um, yeah, I think we go to Fernandez, Bruno Fernandez, staying at Manchester United. As you all know, that he has turned down that big contract and chosen to stay at Manchester United for the foreseeable future, and I think that is a good thing. So I think